Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Porsche Panamera Turbo E-Hybrid. This is Porsche's all-wheel drive twin-turbo luxury sedan. And today we're going to be finding out if it really lives up to its seriously long nameplate. And so, without further ado, let's get into the history of this car. And so, this thing was revealed in 2008, well, the first generation Panamera, but this is the third or fourth gen Panamera, so this is the newest generation, and you got all types of design updates compared to the older Panamera. And as you'll see, the older Panamera, as you can see right there, was a lot more smooth and rounded and didn't look as aggressive, but this thing looks a lot meaner and a lot squarer. And so, now that I've told you that, let's get into the specs. And this thing is powered by a pretty massive 4.0 liter twin turbo V8 that is helped by a hybrid system helping the engine, and that creates 127 horsepower, just the hybrid system. And the actual engine creates about 530 or 40-ish horsepower. So combined, this thing makes not 630 horsepower. And so combined, this thing creates about 670 horsepower from this engine, and then the torque is a bone-wobbling 683 pound-feet of torque. So this thing has more power than a Porsche 911 Turbo S for half the price. And so with that power output and all-wheel drive, which is seriously nice from a massive sedan like this, you get 0 to 60 in a claimed 3 seconds and a tested 2.8. So this thing is crazy fast, and the top speed is 196 miles an hour. So this thing has a crazy high top speed, crazy 0 to 60, and we're going to be seeing if everything else is as crazy as the specs. And so with all those specs, you also get 21 miles per gallon, which is actually relatively good for a supercar smoking sedan, and 650 miles of range. So you have seriously good range, and actually this is a plug-in hybrid, so you have about 30 to 50 miles of range just in electric mode. So this thing is a seriously good commuter car while still being one of the best racing sedans out there. And so you guys are probably all wondering, how much is this thing? Well, let me tell you. And this thing is $195,000. That is the base retail price. But with specs, you could probably hit $240 if you spec it like crazy. And this spec is probably around $210. So these things are definitely not cheap, but they sure are fast. And so now that I've told you all those specs, I think you have a rough idea of what this car's like. So now let's take a closer look at the design. of this car. And one thing you'll notice is this thing looks completely different from its predecessor that I showed earlier, because one, you got new LED lights right here. They're seriously bright. Those are your daytime running lights, and then you got your nighttime running lights as well, 4 of them, which is pretty nice. Got a cool little Porsche lettering there. It's cool, like star trim. It's kind of hard to see, but there's like Mercedes almost looking star trim there. And this thing is really square. It has an interesting design, not really Porsche in my opinion, because most Porsches are more like rounded, but this thing still looks pretty cool. You got this nice like little humps right here to make it look more sporty, and it sure works. And actually one thing that I noticed and that I know of on all the new Porsche turbo models is that now you have this like gray silver type of badge right here on all turbo models. 911 turbos, Titan turbos, Panamera turbos, any turbo in any lineup of the Porsche cars have this logo. And the rest just have a normal colorful Porsche logo. And the reason why they did that is so you can tell the difference. So it's easier to tell if I'm looking at a turbo or just a base Panamera. Because really the design is not extremely different. Because if you look from this to this, that's just a base Panamera. But this is a turbo. And it's pretty hard to tell. I feel like that's the only thing that gives it off. And so also you got this nice glossy black trim all over the front. Nice air intakes here, some air intakes down here. And one cool thing is that this actually opens and closes. Check that out. It's just like the, what is it called? On the 911, there's some kind of, I believe it's called like fish scale. Yeah, fish scale air intake. So they could close or they could open if you need to cool the hybrid system, just like on the hybrid 911s. So that's pretty cool. You got this nice black trim here. Too bad it's plastic. It would have been really cool in carbon. You could see also nice little lip spoiler right there. Some little like pieces sticking out. Kind of interesting looking. And then you have some more nice black trim. You got some large radiators back there that are freaking fully exposed. Like you could even reach that because it's so close. You got nice LEDs right here. Also, that's different compared to the normal one. They're on the side instead, the LEDs, but on the turbos, they're right here. Cool little like hexagon trim on them. So that's really nice. And yeah, so the front of this thing looks really cool. Then you come to the side, and one thing, you have this like side piece right here is orange light reflectors right there, and also I believe they're blinkers, so if you're turning, other people can see. And even on their freaking turbo model or performance model Panameras, you have center locking wheels. How crazy is that? You have nice like that silverish trim. I forgot the name, some kind of like titanium or something like that on the Porsche crest. And these are center locking wheels. And what that means is that instead of, like if you come over here, you have multiple screws, you just have one. And the reason why is actually because in racing, they have this on every race car so that when they're changing the tires at the paddock, then you could just like, zzz, zzz, and then it's just like really easy to take the tires off. And you have to unscrew every bolt. So just one bolt. And why they put center locking rims on a family sedan, no one friggin' knows, but that's pretty cool actually, because it has a little like Porsche race heritage. You got this nice massive brakes. You have 1, 2, 3, like 2 or 3 of my hands stacked, so that's like maybe 1 foot that brake. Massive brakes. You got nice Michelin Pilot Sport all-season tires, pretty good for all weather. And you also got your E-Hybrid lettering here. And before, all E-Hybrid models like 918 and all hybrid Panameras and Cayennes, they all had neon green trim. And I actually really liked that, but Porsche took it away because 99% of the buyers actually didn't like the way it looked, but I actually preferred it. Now you just got this black E-Hybrid trim here. You got air outtakes right there, which are actually real. And the reason why they have these is so that when these tires become really hot, if you're going really fast, then air flows out of them, the hot air, to let cool air come in, and so it cools off the brakes, so it doesn't mess with the brakes. Also, you got these like performance-looking brakes, which look pretty cool. You got nice mirrors right here, and they're actually pretty large, but you have this like hole through them for extra good aerodynamics. You got a nice little camera integrated into them, and then an LED light right there for when you're turning, your turn signal lights. And you get a great sized mirror right there. I think it's perfect size. And so yeah, now we checked out all of the front, and I think it's pretty nice. And the update is also pretty neat. And so yeah, so if you look at the side of this car, you could tell that now it's more like, I don't know, squared kind of design. So that's another new thing. It used to be more round type of design, but now it's more like just straight lines. And before, you got these also handles right here. Nice little exposed handles. It would have been cooler though if they're flat for better aerodynamics. You got nice trim here, little side skirt, which looks really cool. Your back tires, and then actually right here you have, I believe, either your gas or electric charging port, and then you have your gas charging port. So there's one gas and one electric charging port, so that you could charge this electrically or gas, which is really cool. So yeah, that's one pretty neat feature. You come right here and you got these really cool like white LED lights right here. And actually, one thing about this wing that you probably didn't know is that this thing actually splits in half.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you have this two separate wings here, and it actually, both of them come up, but then they could like separate like up and down, stuff like that. So it's a pretty cool design. You have Porsche lettering it here, and then your nice turbo lettering there, just like on the original 930 Turbo. And yeah, so also you got these like really nice exhaust pipes that are actually full exhaust pipes. So that's pretty nice, knowing that you got real exhaust pipes and not just like fake exhausts. You got this nice LED trim, well, not LED, but reflecting red trim there. And then you got this like indents right here, mainly for design, I think, maybe for aerodynamics, but I think it's just mainly for the look of the car. You also got these nice little like pieces here, just also for design, because it doesn't bring any air out since this isn't rear mid-engine. You got a little nice rear diffuser right here, which is pretty cool. I believe this is like a tow hook or something you could tow the car with right there, or maybe some kind of sensor. But yeah, so this is a pretty nice update in my opinion. It looks really wide as well. And if I could congratulate Porsche on one thing, I think the way they integrate the design of their sports cars into their family and SUVs, family cars and SUV cars, then I think it's really nice. So just pop this open, and you got almost like a hatchback type of opening, not just this piece opens, but this entire rear window. So that's pretty nice. You got this nice like titanium trim here, and then you got actually a massive boot for something that's so fast. You got a seriously good amount of space here, probably 500 liters of storage. There's little like pieces of, maybe this could, yeah, this should come off, and maybe there's a spare tire or something in there. You got your 12-volt charging port there, and a nice little tonneau cover that actually matches the color of the interior of the car, like this cocoa brown type of color, which is really nice. Yeah, so, and it doesn't have too big of a lip either, so it's probably going to be relatively easy to load stuff into there. And yeah, so yeah, you got that pretty nice trunk. And this is the gas or electric. There's either one on either of these sides. An extra charging or plug-in right there. You got your rims over here. And so I think we've checked out all of the exterior of this car. Now let's hop inside. So this thing actually lifts. Here, let me show you guys this one more time. I literally forgot. Check this out. So this is gonna slowly lower back down, and since this thing is kind of low for taller people, you open the door and the car automatically lifts up. And I don't know how, but it's supposed to be easier to climb into the car, maybe for people who are taller than me, but it doesn't really help me much. And I actually just noticed one really cool thing. Look at this mat, okay? Can you notice anything? It's actually the side of the Panamera integrated into the design of the mat. So really cool integration of the design Porsche. You got a nice lettering right here with turbo and all this nice carbon fiber trim. I really like the way this interior looks. Let's hop into here. And yeah, so now let's check out the interior. And interestingly, you got this like X type of trim. It's kind of hard to get into focus, but this is little like X's the way it was, I don't know, sewed, so that's pretty cool. And you just got your straight sewing right there. You got a nice little handle integrated into the design of this like plastic trim. You got also this more like black trim over here. And one thing I actually like is that how Porsche like integrated all this black, so when the car's off, it looks like it's just all this like black trim. It's pretty cool the way it looks. You got carbon trim integrated into the littlest corners, and let me pop this open. You got some carbon trim over there where you can't even really see it, but yeah, so you got all this carbon trim coming all the way across this car, and then under here and all the way over to the driver's side, so that's pretty interesting. You got this nice trim, well, nice storage space right here. This could take out, and it's a little separator, and you could put it either right here or right there. So you got a nice little separator right here, 12-volt charging port there, the Panamera key, which looks pretty cool, and it still has that like silver type of logo, and it's kind of shaped almost like a car, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, so you got that nice key, close that, and I don't know, this system seems just a little bit cheap. There's one thing I could say doesn't seem to be of the best quality, this piece right here, but I mean that's fine. It's not like you're gonna use this piece all the time. You got speakers right here, great Burmester speakers. I know these are like $5,000 option, so these are really premium. You got your window switches, little storage area for maybe like an iPhone. Well, probably not even that, probably like maybe a candy bar or something. You got some more space under here, and then it goes pretty deep into there, so you could easily fit some water balls or something, which is pretty nice. You got great leg room as well, because my feet can't even touch it, so you got really good leg room. And yeah, also you'll pop this open, and you can see more of that carbon trim here. And you got a relatively good amount of storage space with a little light, so it's easy to see, a little LED light. And in my opinion, this interior is designed really like comfortably. It feels seriously spacious, and yeah. So also you got your screen here. Just pop it to turn it on, and there's one cool thing I'm gonna show y'all in a little while, so if you're still watching, stay tuned. But yeah, so all this nice trim. You got your handles right here. The center console is also pretty nice, and let's actually do one test. Okay, so you got a solid center console right there, seriously durable, and I could have just maybe wished for it to be a little lower, but it's fine. You got little like speakers, it looks like, in there, more trim here, and let's see, okay, so you just have to do like this. You push this in, and you got an iPhone charging port. You could actually put your iPhone there, and there's little, in here there's little air, like there's little vents that a little AC below, so that while your phone's charging, let's say you forget it and it's on for too long, it doesn't like overheat the phone, so that's really nice. And a lot of companies are taking that same style now. You got two little USB-C charging ports, which are pretty nice. You just pop it back into place. Got a little scroll button here for the audio, and then you got all your temperature, your sync. You could cool off, well, heat up the window if you're in snow, so that's really nice. You got really nice little cup holders here. It's interesting how they move around like that. So you got cool little cup holders, and then you probably get to the part of the car that's the coolest, which is the screen. And so now let me tell you the one thing that you probably never knew before, and you could already kind of see it. So, okay, let's just put the camera over here. Let's say you're the driver, okay? And you're just driving and you have to pay attention. In order for you not to like get distracted, because I can watch movies and YouTube and stuff like that on here, or at least I believe I can, then it actually blocks it off because all this is black. You see that? So if the driver tries to pay attention to what you're watching or doing, then they can't. So they'll pay attention to the road more. So that's a really nice feature. These two screens are pretty much the same, but this has like stuff like cockpit, instructions, sport chrono, navigation, media, phone, devices. You scroll here, you can like call people from here, you can connect to Bluetooth. You got your own little maps. I don't know if it's Google Maps or what. And actually, check this out. It has a little Porsche logo right there, which is pretty neat. This screen, though, since it's an updated screen, I could have wished for it to be a little more high tech, but I mean, it's okay. Let's see. I mean, it's not too slow, but it's definitely not the most high tech, and it's kind of hard to see who you are. You can just press that, and it'll put you back in the center. You could choose different maps, like if you want 3D, E-range. You could choose like satellite map if you want, but you don't have any service right now, or at least this one doesn't. But yeah, so you got all this stuff. You can go to devices as well, and then you could connect up to any of these devices here. Of course, you got sport chrono, and so you could start recording a lap time. And please tell me in the comments below if you own this car hypothetically, if you would drive this at a racetrack. I don't think I would, but I mean maybe y'all would, but I think it's not really something you really need is a lap timer. But yeah, so you got that. You also got music. Of course, you can go to your maps and then back to your sport chrono, and it actually shows you your elevation, which way you're pointing, what the speed you're at, so you don't have to look over at the driver's side. So you can just sit back and see what speed you're going. It shows you the G-force, which way it's pushing you, which is also really nice. And then you can just pop back here. So simple little screen. Let's actually go to search. And I don't know if you could search up websites or what, probably not, but maybe you could just search for the apps. Then you go to the main screen, and it shows way more stuff. You got vehicle climate, notifications, Apple CarPlay, charging, settings. You go here and you got Bluetooth and everything the same. And then you scroll down and you actually have updates. You can update it. You can see the performance, calling, home link, instructions. And so yeah. So it's pretty simple setup. And you could also control what mode you're in, e-power mode, sport mode. You could also control it from right there. So sport, track, normal, and like wet mode. You could see chassis, you could put it into hard or soft mode. You could choose what level you're at, sport exhaust, spoiler extended, and actually let me show you what that looks like. But yeah, so you saw what that looks like. It looks pretty cool. And you got also, there's like pieces right here which blow air. They're actually pretty neatly integrated into the design. And there's one on the other side as well. So that's pretty cool. And so yeah, you saw what that spoiler looks like. You got some more air, like AC and air conditioner integrated into there. And one thing actually cool about the Sport Chrono package is that, check this out, you get this nice little clock which shows you the time, I guess in seconds and minutes, and it shows you the exact time right there. You got this nice little like design and a little speaker integrated into there, and you can actually move this. This is also the AC, which is pretty cool, so you could point it a certain way right there. And you got your steering wheel right here, which has nice carbon trim there. The like bolt design there, which also looks pretty cool. Got, of course, your nice turbo logo there. And now you got a touchscreen. Well, not a touchscreen, but you just got a screen for your rev counter, your miles per hour, the range left, your e-power. You could see your PSI. You could see how fast you're going. And supposedly it shows you could hit 225 miles an hour, but I've learned that the top speed on the speed counter, it's not always completely true, because usually cars could only reach like 10 or 20 miles an hour slower than it shows the top speed to be, so keep that in mind. And yeah, so you got your nice shifter right there, reverse, neutral drive, and then your park button. You got your window wipers right here, and you even got tiny little paddle shifters. I don't know what that's for, even though this is not a manual. That's pretty interesting. And so yeah, also you got nice Alcantara trim on the roof. You could pop this down, and then you have a light right there and a perfect little mirror right there. You could open or close the roof. Let's see, and it works. I mean, it's pretty effective. So you could work that. You could, I believe, just touch this. Look, you don't even have a tool sound. It makes like a sound, but you just touch on it lightly, and then the light turns on. So that's pretty cool. And actually, look over here, and the seats are really nice in my opinion. You got a nice turbo badge right there, nice Porsche Stuttgart logo right there, and nice little like sides that hold you in place pretty well. And they're actually surprisingly comfortable. I didn't expect them to be this comfortable, but yeah, they hold you in place, I mean, relatively well for a sports sedan. And then you put seatbelt on, and as usual, Porsche seatbelts are pretty nice, really smooth. So you pop that off, and so I think we've checked out all of the front seats. Now let's hop into the back. So now we're in the back seats of the 2025 Porsche Panamera Turbo E-Hybrid, and they're pretty much the front seats fused together by a middle center console. So let's try these seat belts. And these ones actually seem to be more smooth than the front seat belts. I'm not sure why. But yeah, so they're pretty good. Pretty comfortable, hold you in place relatively well. You got some handles right there, little window switch. You got, of course, your opening handle, and then you could lock and unlock the doors from back here. That's pretty interesting. On all four sides you could do that. Usually it's only on one side or two sides, so usually it's only the passenger and driver, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, you also have Burmester speakers, tiny amount of storage. You could probably barely fit anything in there, and knee room is pretty good. Actually, it's really great. It's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I must have like 4 inches of knee room here, which is really good. Also, if you look here, they like made a little indent in here so that you have more knee space, even if your knees are more forward. So that's really nice. There's a little like hole through the seat, so you could look through it. That's pretty interesting. And you get your own personal touchscreen. You could go to home. Wow, and you can see like media, navigation, seat comfort, legal notice, climate, and you can't scroll over, but let's see, seat comfort. You could do the heat balance, and you could choose how hot it is. Back here, you go to here and then choose the ambient lighting, what color it is. You go to navigation, and so you have your own tiny touchscreen back here, which is really nice. I think one downside, though, is that you have to bend over, like, you have to kind of do like this, because, I mean, you could do it from, like, this distance, like, you could mess with everything, but in order to see it well, you have to kind of bend in. I feel like that's only one of the downsides. But yeah, you got center console here. You could pop this up, and then you got some nice storage, and a really comfortable armrest here. You close that up, and then, okay, before you, okay, so you have to pull it open, and you got two tiny, shallow little cup holders. Hopefully your cups will stay in. Oh, actually, check this out. So it looks shallow, right? But you pop this up and it's easier to hold higher stuff, and you just pop it back down when you need to close it. Pretty smartly designed. I mean, that's pretty nice. And you just pull this back together and then it closes back up. You got more luxurious carbon trim in here. Two USB-C charging ports there. And you got your own little window here with little ambient lighting there. Nice little handle. Good sized window. And you get two individual windows. I think both of them could open. One of them could open, one could be closed, vice versa. So that's pretty nice. You got all your nice black trim here. Your AC. And also you got tiny little storage space right here. Nice little net storage space. And somehow they made it the same color as the leather, which is pretty cool. But yeah. So let's unbuckle. And I'm going to show you guys two things before we get out. Which, one, you got a little AC integrated into the doors around here, which is pretty nice. You can control it easily through there. You got a great sized back window over here. And you can kind of see like the brake light up there. And yeah, so also there's like these indents right here for extra good headroom, which is also pretty nice. And yeah, so I think we've checked out all of this car. Let's hop out and near the end of our video. So we're gonna pop this open. It nicely lifts up, and it's actually pretty easy to get out of this thing. Like the door's all kind of like bent because it's so wide. It's all like connected to the haunches. But yeah, so I hope you guys liked this video. Remember to like and subscribe to Xaaron Reviews, and see you all next time. And also, I'll ask you one favor to check out my X account as well, which is also Xaaron Reviews, where I post all of the coolest and newest car news from Bugattis, Porsches to Teslas. So, I'll see you guys later in the next video. Remember to like and subscribe.